Chapter 337. It is not a secret that an alien trialist has infiltrated in another dimension. But if UTN is that trialist, he can get a reward for killing UTN. This is the rule set by the old god. But now, Moong didn't hear any news of the reward, which means that the trialist is not dead. Does this mean that he didn't kill UTN just now? Doppelganger? Moong guessed. There are countless talents in the world, and there are all kinds of talents. Maybe this corpse is just a doppelganger of the trialist, and the trialist is not dead. If that's the case, he can't accept it. Another emperor died just now, plus the one emperor who died before. The Moro clan lost 2 emperor ranks, which is definitely a major loss for the Moro clan. If you kill the trialist and get a reward, then such a loss is nothing, but the trialist is not dead, and he is still alive, so where does this put the face of the Moro clan? Immediately, Moong contacted the other gods and explained the situation. Thereupon, the Moro clan gave an order, and all the emperors who were outside were all returned and examined. UTN's disguise talent was exposed, but the Moro clan had its own way of dealing with it. Once the emperor-level clan was recalled, even if UTN disguised himself as an emperor-level Moro clan, he didn't want to escape from their detection. But the Moro clan never expected that UTN actually had a hidden breath ring, which could hide his cultivation, and he would not disguise himself as an emperor-level Moro clan at all, but could completely disguise himself as a grandmaster-level Moro clan, a king-level Moro clan, and a saint-level Moro clan. Therefore, it is not easy for the Moro clan to find UTN. Moro alien space, somewhere. UTN got out of the ground, checked his body, and immediately breathed a sigh of relief. He managed to use his talent for substitution to escape, but that doesn't mean he's out of danger. My identity must have been revealed. They must know that I am not the real Moro, but if the news of my death is revealed, the Moro will still look for me. UTN thought. He didn't dare to bet. If he made a mistake, his body would really fall here. So, UTN disguised himself as a king-level Moro clan and flew in one direction. After a while, he found a small town, entered it, and then found an uninhabited house and lived in it. In this way, even if all the gods of the Moro clan are dispatched to search for him, they don't want to find out where he is. He only needs to stay quietly for 4 days before he can leave this alien dimension. First of all, I have fused the 2 high-level immortal talents that I just copied into my hand. UTN decided. Half an hour later, the 2 high-level immortal talents were successfully fused, and UTN's immortal talents were transformed. Open black lens bracket undead talent. Top close black lens bracket. The top-level immortal talent has greatly increased UTN's life-saving ability many times. Even if he encounters a 4-star Tianjiao, he has the certainty of saving his life. This time entering the ruins of the ancient gods, UTN's harvest is unimaginable. A physical cultivation secret skill, a top-level immortal talent, and a sun-level claw talent. Just one different dimension space allowed UTN to have such a harvest. If he broke into a few more different dimensions, wouldn't the harvest be even greater? But UTN suppressed this idea and was ready to give up and move on. Greed is one of the root causes of evil. With his current strength, he can't even beat 3 or 4-star Tianjiao. If the different dimensional space behind him is really so easy to break into, and there are so many physical cultivation secret skills that are easy to take, the Tianjiao of the major forces will all rush over. Even the peerless Tianjiao was not sure that he could obtain a flesh-body cultivation secret technique, and it was already bad luck for him to be able to obtain a flesh-body cultivation secret technique. And this kind of luck is indispensable. If he is still greedy and continues to break into other different dimensions, the possibility of falling is very high. In the next few days, UTN even gave up his cultivation and spent his days wandering around this city. During this period, a god-level divine consciousness enveloped the audience, causing a lot of riots. The other Moro people didn't know what was going on, but UTN knew very well that these god-level people were looking for him. But they are doomed. 4 days passed quickly, and with a wave of spatial power, UTN was moved out and left this alien dimension. Ruins of the old gods. On a stone step, UTN appeared here. He looked at the farther road ahead and shook his head. Let's go. UTN turned around and left. When leaving, UTN also had to endure one killing formation after another, but he easily broke through these killing formations and finally left the ancient god ruins. Then, he had long since reverted to his Terran appearance, but he was also disguised as an ordinary emperor. Yi Tian did not choose to fly out of the ruins, but prepared to break through the ruins of the true gods. After all, he finally came here. Although he had obtained the secret technique of physical cultivation, he still lacked resources. There should be a lot of good things in the ruins of the true gods, and he is ready to break into them. So, for the next period of time, Yi Tian wandered around the true god ruins, risking his way into buildings one by one in search of useful resources. This day, a Tianzhao dragged his injuries out of the ruins of the ancient gods, and he was the lifeless Tianzhao of Yin Yu Xing. Damn, I didn't get anything, and I almost died, and I lost several life-saving things. Wusheng Tianzhao is very unwilling. But now, his life-saving things are exhausted, and he doesn't dare to continue to break in, otherwise he will definitely die. Phew! Immortal Tianzhao passed through the ruins of the true god and soon entered the starry sky. He was not going to come in the future, and completely gave up on this ancient god relic. Suddenly, a figure appeared in front of him. The man was dressed in a cyan robe, with long hair and blue eyes. Seeing this person, Wusheng Tianzhao's face changed drastically. Qingzhen Peerless Tianzhao, what are you stopping me for? He was a little scared. It's just because this person in front of him is not an ordinary Tianzhao, but a peerless Tianzhao, who can almost kill his existence in seconds. I got the news that Tianzhao has obtained the secret technique of physical body cultivation. I suspect it's you. Qingzhen Tianzhao stared at Wusheng Tianzhao and said coldly, "What? Someone has obtained the flesh body cultivation secret technique?" Wusheng Tianzhao was shocked, his eyes widened, and he even felt jealous. Why wasn't he the one who got the secret technique of physical cultivation? If he had also obtained the secret technique of physical body cultivation, wouldn't he be? No, Qingzhen Tianzhao stopped me. Shouldn't he think I'm? When Wusheng Tianzhao thought of this, he hurriedly explained, "Qingzhen Tianzhao, I haven't obtained the flesh body cultivation secret technique. Do you think I can obtain the flesh body cultivation secret technique with my strength?" "This is not for sure." Qingzhen Tianzhao sneered. Hypnosis. The power of hypnotic talent surged, and Wusheng Tianzhao's face changed, and he hurriedly urged the soul treasure to resist the power of hypnosis. "Qingzhen Tianzhao, you want to hypnotize me? Although you are a peerless Tianzhao, you are only almost invincible at the emperor level. Can you really compete with our immortal pavilion?" Wusheng Tianzhao exclaimed. "Let me take the initiative to hypnotize, or you will die today." Qingzhen Tianzhao's killing intent shrouded Wusheng Tianzhao. If Wusheng Tianzhao refused, he would really do it. Feeling that Qingzhen Tianzhao's killing intent was completely ignited, Wusheng Tianzhao confessed. "I'll hypnotize you." Wusheng Tianzhao lowered his head, no longer urging the soul treasure, and took the initiative to hypnotize Qingzhen Tianzhao. Soon, Wusheng Tianzhao was completely hypnotized. After some inquiry, Qingzhen Tianzhao frowned. "It's not Wusheng Tianzhao." The hypnosis was lifted, and the lifeless Tianzhao woke up. "Get out!" Qingzhen Tianzhao snorted coldly and did not give Wusheng Tianzhao face at all. Wusheng Tianzhao was angry, but thinking about the gap between the two sides, he could only endure it and turned to leave. Time passed day by day, and in the blink of an eye, more than 20 days passed. This day, Yi Tian is ready to leave the true god ruins. Chapter 338. In the past 20 days, Yi Tian has broken into many places among the ruins of the true gods. Although he has encountered danger several times, with his immortal talent and the ability to escape into space, he has avoided several crises. As for the harvest, Yi Tian has indeed gained a lot and obtained a lot of cultivation resources. At least in a short period of time, there is no need to worry about resources. In fact, the true god ruins had poured into too many emperor level, and most of the area was patronized by the emperor level. Yi Tian almost broke into a very dangerous place to obtain these resources. Now, there aren't many resources left for this true god relic, and even if the soul transfer talent can continue to be maintained, he won't stay here. It would be a waste of time to stay here. The ruins of the true gods, in a small attic. Yi Tian lifted the soul transfer talent. Suddenly, his soul returned to his body, and the body changed to its original form, turned into a corpse, and fell. Even if someone came here in the future, they would only think that this emperor level had encountered danger and fell here, and they would not suspect Yu Tian's body. The Guzhang Galaxy, an uninhabited planet. In the temporary cave underground, Yu Tian woke up. He moved his body, which had not moved for a month, and his body creaked. It's better to be in your own health. Yu Tian moved for a while to get used to the fit of the soul and the body. He didn't want to re-enter the ruins, but left the Dolphin River Galaxy, away from the vortex for the time being. Anyway, he had already obtained the flesh-body cultivation secret technique, and it was the flesh-body cultivation secret technique that he wanted the most, so naturally he didn't want to put himself in danger anymore. After many transfers, Yu Tian finally returned to Yinyu Star. He had just come back, and he first entered the virtual world of Tianzhao Pavilion, and soon saw some surprising news from the discussion area. He flipped through a few posts and was shocked. I obtained the flesh-body cultivation secret technique, and it was actually known by others, but they didn't know that it was me. They only knew that there was a Tianzhao who had obtained the flesh-body cultivation secret technique. Yu Tian said darkly, and what surprised him even more was that some Tianzhao, such as Wusheng Tianzhao, were forcibly hypnotized and questioned by Qingzhen Tianzhao. It should be said that Tianzhao who came out of the ruins of the ancient gods was caught by Qingzhen Tianzhao and forcibly hypnotized. If he didn't want to be hypnotized, he would be killed directly. And a few Tianzhao didn't want to be tempered by Qingzhen Tianzhao because of their arrogance, and they were killed by Qingzhen Tianzhao. Because of this matter, a peerless Tianzhao couldn't see it, and fought fiercely with Qingzhen Tianzhao, and a big battle broke out between the two sides. In the end, at the cost of injuries on both sides, they left. In short, no one knew that Yu Tian had obtained the secret technique of physical body cultivation. Fortunately, I will disguise the talent and the soul transfer talent, otherwise it will definitely be exposed. Yu Tian secretly rejoiced. After understanding the basic situation, Yu Tian no longer paid attention to it. No matter how much impact the ancient god relics would have, it was impossible for him to care. Now, he has no shortage of resources, no shortage of physical cultivation secret skills, and his cultivation talent has reached the Hong level, and he is not worried about his cultivation talent. Therefore, he just wanted to cultivate and quickly break the 16th physical limit. On the second day after he returned, Yu Tian began to cultivate the nameless flesh-body cultivation secret technique, easily condensed the secret technique aura, practiced the nameless flesh-body cultivation secret technique, and began to cultivate. Of course, Yu Tian didn't cultivate all the time, and occasionally went to the major giant cities to look for mystery-level attribute talents. It was not difficult to find mystical-level attribute talents, but Yu Tian didn't deliberately look for them before. Now, Yu Tian targeted to find the mystery-level attribute talent, and he found it easily. In addition to the various attribute talents he already had, he also copied the arcane-level Thunder Spear talent and the arcane-level Ice talent. As for other mystic-level attribute talents, although some have also been copied, in the final analysis, they are actually one attribute, such as the mystic-level Fireball talent and the mystic-level Fire Dragon talent, which actually belong to the mystery-level Fire talent. Although they can be fused into God-level talents, but Yu Tian does not lack the God-level talents of the 5 elements. The basic attributes in the universe are nothing more than gold, wood, water, fire, earth, wind, thunder, ice, light and darkness. If you add more, you can also speed up time and space, but it is too difficult for these 2 talents to be promoted to the arcane level. Gathering the 10 mystical attribute talents, Yu Tian all integrated them into the aura of the secret technique, so that the amplification effect of the nameless flesh-body cultivation secret technique reached 20 times. Such a flesh-body cultivation secret technique is absolutely rare. With this physical body cultivation secret technique, Yu Tian's utilization of various resources reached an unbelievable level. In addition, Yu Tian's cultivation talent has been raised to the Hong level, and there is a 10-fold increase in time. In this way, Yu Tian's cultivation speed was many times faster than before. Cultivating day by day, Yu Tian's progress is too fast. Half a month later, Yu Tian successfully broke the 16th physical limit, and his strength broke through again. He didn't want to go to Tianzhao Tower to test his combat power, but he estimated that his strength had already stepped into the 3-star Tianzhao level, and he was only 1 step away from the 4-star Tianzhao. This kind of combat power can definitely be ranked in the forefront of Yinyu Star Tianzhao, and even a 3-star Tianzhao like Thundering Tianzhao is definitely not his opponent. With Yi Tian's current combat strength, if he returned to Earth, even the demigods among those forces in the Glory Pavilion would definitely not be his opponent. Moreover, he is already the Lord of the Solar System. The Dragon Clan and the Glory Pavilion and other forces are equivalent to invaders. He can drive these forces away at any time. If he does not leave, it is equivalent to destroying the laws of the galaxy. He can apply to the Sunwheel Empire for sanctions at any time. If the Sunwheel Empire can't solve it, he can apply to Yinyu Xing. In short, he didn't worry about the forces on Earth at all now. But, in order to ensure that the secrets of the metaverse are not revealed, he cannot go back for the time being. Otherwise, those forces would have cried to death when they learned that they were incapable of confronting him and poked out this secret at once. A metaverse, even a metaverse that has been depleted of its potential, is enough to make the top strength of the galaxy excited. When the time comes, a bunch of powers above the true gods will run to the Earth, and he will not be able to compete with those big forces at all. Let's practice hard in the next time. If you can break the physical limit again before returning to Earth, it will be completely perfect. Yi Tian said expectantly. It's a pity that the difficulty of breaking the 17th physical limit is 10 times more difficult than breaking the 16th physical limit, and it naturally takes a lot more time. Even if there are sufficient resources, with Yi Tian's current talent, it will take at least a year or even 2 years to break the 17th physical limit. And it is impossible for him to spend all this time refining his body, and he definitely needs to cultivate other aspects, such as the sword path, claw path, etc., which also need to be comprehended and cultivated. In the blink of an eye, 3 months have passed. On this day, Yi Tian finally made a breakthrough in the Tao of the Tao, and he successfully raised the realm of the Tao to the realm of 40 into 5. This is a huge breakthrough. 40 into 5 sword realm means that Yi Tian can cultivate the god-level sword technique Ghost Sword to the Dacheng realm, and he can also raise the Starry Sky Destruction to the Consummation realm. Once the Ghost Sword is completed and the Starry Sky Destruction reaches the Consummation realm, Yi Tian's strength can definitely step into the 4-star Tianzhao level, and even the 5-star Tianzhao will not be too far away. In the next half-month, Yi Tian cultivated the 2 god-level sword skills of the Ghost Sword and the Starry Sky Annihilation. With his top-level comprehension talent and the sun-level sword talent, he easily cultivated the Ghost Sword to the Dacheng realm, and the Starry Sky Annihilation cultivation to the Consummation realm. Sure enough, Yi Tian's combat power has undergone a metamorphosis again, reaching the level of a 4-star Tianzhao, and it is not very far from a 5-star Tianzhao. Returning from the ruins of the ancient gods, in just a few months, Yi Tian stepped from a 2-star Tianzhao to a 4-star Tianzhao, and this speed of progress was far from what other Tianzhao could imagine. But Yi Tian didn't have the slightest pride. His current strength was still very weak, and he was not the opponent of Peerless Tianzhao at all. Peerless Tianzhao, it won't be long before I can reach it. Yi Tian muttered to himself. Chapter 339. The combat power has been increased to a 4-star Tianzhao, and it is difficult to make significant progress in a short period of time. So, Yi Tian was ready to practice his palm skills. He copied the Radiant Moon level palm talent of the Immortal Tianzhao, and obtained the Void Mi palm inheritance in the Mira Sutra, which is a complete set of inheritance palm skills from the Black Iron level palm technique to the Super God level palm technique. Yi Tian has always felt that the Mira Sutra contains some secrets, and he was lucky enough to get the 2 pages of the Mila Sutra, which shows that the strange thing of the Mira Sutra is related to him. Therefore, he wanted to practice the Void Palm. The Black Iron level Void Palm, Bronze level Void Palm, Silver grade Void Palm, and Gold level Void Palm are all very simple. With Yi Tian's top-level comprehension and Huihui level palm talent, he has cultivated all the way to the legendary Void Palm in just half a month, and has cultivated the legendary level Void Palm to the entry level. Because it took time to comprehend the palm technique, Yi Tian's progress in palm skills slowed down. This day, Yi Tian entered the virtual world of Tianzhao Pavilion, and suddenly all Tianzhao was discussing a matter. Chance of the birth of a planet. Yi Tian hurriedly entered the Points Mall and saw the first big opportunity on the first page, which was the chance of the birth of the planet. Planet is born by chance. 500 points are required to purchase qualifications. 500 points. Yi Tian was shocked. An opportunity like the Heavenly Sword Secret Realm only needs 30 points, and the chance to be born on this planet actually requires 500 points. What is this concept? This kind of opportunity inevitably requires too many points. Soon, Yi Tian knew what the chance of the birth of this planet was. The entire universe is constantly expanding, and rivers, galaxies, and planets will gradually be born, but the process is very slow. The Milky Way is at the edge of the universe, and next to the Milky Way there is a new galaxy, far less large than the Milky Way, but humans also occupy a part of the area, of which Yinyu occupies several small galaxies. Now, one of these small galaxies is about to give birth to another planet, and it is a planet of life. The birth of a living planet is a gift from the universe, and during the period of birth, the origin rules of the universe will descend. If you cultivate inside the planet, you can easily comprehend various avenues. In such a situation, the enlightenment of the mysteries, the enlightenment of the kendo, the way of the sword, and the way of the claw can all be quickly improved. For example, some 9-star Emperor-level talents can be completed on the newly born life planet if they want to fuse them into God-level talents. Because of this, the birth of every living planet is a great opportunity. But the life planet has just been born and is under the protection of the universe. It is impossible to allow too many lives to enter the planet, and Yinyu Star also needs to pay a great price for letting the Tianzhao enter, such as the backlash from the universe, which needs to be borne by the strong above the true God. The more warriors enter, the more they will fight back. Therefore, even Tianzhao Pavilion could not let too many Tianzhao enter, and every place was extremely precious. 500 points to buy this qualification. I only have 360 points now, and I am still 140 points away. Yi Tian calculated. 140 points is not difficult. He has not yet broken through the second layer of the Heavenly Tower. If he passes the second layer, he can get a reward of 200 points. He now has the strength of a 4-star Tianzhao, and he can break through even if he breaks through to the third layer. Let's go to the Sky Tower first. Yi Tian couldn't help it. Wow! Yi Tian came to the second layer of Tianzhao Tower, and quickly defeated his opponent easily. Not only had the combat power of 3 stars Tianzhao in the evaluation of Tianzhao ranking, but also obtained a reward of 200 points. As a result of breaking through the second layer of Tianzhao Tower, Yi Tian's ranking on the Tianzhao list suddenly jumped from 182nd to 98th on the Tianzhao list. This change in ranking quickly attracted the attention of many Tianzhao. Wanfa Tianzhao's ranking on the Tianzhao list has been raised to the 98th place on the Tianzhao list, and his strength has reached the 3-star Tianzhao level so quickly. Wanfa Tianzhao must have just broken through the second layer of Tianzhao Tower and obtained a reward of 200 points. Should he have scraped together 500 points and purchased the opportunity for the birth of the planet? No, it's for sure. Do you remember, Wanfa Tianzhao completed the task of capturing the Black-Winged Silver Emperor before, and that task is worth 300 points. Just these 2 points items, Wanfa Tianzhao is enough for 500 points. He must be more than 500 points. Suddenly, Yi Tian became the envy of Tianzhao. And after Yi Tian broke through the Tianzhao Tower, he immediately bought the opportunity of the birth of the planet in the Points Mall, so as not to have an accident and cause the quota to be gone, which is beyond regret. When he clicked on the purchase successfully, he breathed a sigh of relief. It took 500 points, and Yi Tian still had 60 points left at this time. Didi. A flurry of information came. Someone looking for me? Yi Tian clicked on the information, checked the content of the information, and found that he basically came to find points. Wanfa Tianzhao, I still have dozens of points left. Your points should be a lot. Lend me 80 points, and pay you back 100 points in the future. Wanfa Tianzhao, can you lend me 150 points? If you borrow me, we will be brothers in the future. If someone makes trouble for you in the future, I Purple Thunder Tianzhao will definitely help you as soon as possible. Wanfa Tianzhao, can you lend me 70 points? This is treating me like a fat sheep. Yi Tian frowned. Points are such a precious thing. Borrowing points? These days are embarrassed to bring it up. Although he has 60 extra points, maybe at some point, these 60 points will be of great use. For example, this time the planet was born by chance. If he didn't have enough points, wouldn't he be able to get this opportunity? In the same way, If there is a big opportunity in the future, he will be 60 points short, and if he lends it out today, he will regret it. Besides, the points have been lent out, and it is still a question whether they can get them back. Don't borrow. It was impossible for Yu Tian to borrow it, but he couldn't refuse it so bluntly. Thereupon, he replied one by one, I don't have 500 points either. The previous points have been spent, I have purchased some sword skills and treasures, and I still lack dozens of points on my body. His reply to all Tianzhao is like this. As for whether these Tianzhao believe it or not is another matter. Soon, these Tianzhao received Yu Tian's reply, and they all looked unhappy. Thundering Tianzhao's residence. At this time, Lei Ming Tianzhao also read Yu Tian's reply, and was very annoyed. Damn Wanfa Tianzhao, you have earned so many points, will you lack points? I only borrow dozens of points from you, and you don't lend them to me. Lei Ming Tianzhao himself didn't want to think about it. If he had some extra points, and others borrowed points from him, would he borrow them? No way. He had always been selfish, and it was impossible for him to lend points to other Tianzhao points, unless others could pay a price that he was very satisfied with. Now, there are still more than 2 months before the birth of the planet, and you have to set off in a month, so there is only 1 month left for Yu Tianzhao. There aren't many tasks that can be completed in a month, but with the help of the major forces, they can still complete some tasks. But whether you can get together 500 points in time depends on the situation. Half a month has passed. This day, the Purple Wheel God visited Yu Tian and came to Yu Tian's residence in person. Yu Tian received the Purple Wheel God. Normally, the Purple Wheel God would not come at all, but today he came, which made Yu Tian feel a little surprised. Purple Wheel God, you came to me for something important, right? Yu Tian asked. Zilin God looked a little embarrassed, and said, Wanfa Tianzhao, I want to ask how many Tianzhao pavilion points you still have in your hand. I don't know if it's convenient to answer. Suddenly, Yu Tian's face changed slightly, and he said in a deep voice, Purple Wheel God, shouldn't you be a lobbyist for other Tianzhao, and you want me to lend other Tianzhao points? Purple Wheel God hurriedly explained, it's not about borrowing points, it's about trading. There is no way. A great power has found our Qinfeng giant city lord's mansion, and my father can't refuse, so he asked me to come to you. But don't worry, the other party's power is huge, and if you need something, you can use this time to trade. Deal? Yu Tian pondered. If the other party can come up with what he needs, it's not that he can't come up with some points. Chapter 340. It's okay to trade, but I don't really have many points in my hand, only 60 points. Yu Tian confessed. He didn't hide the Purple Wheel God, and there was no need to hide it. Besides, he did have the idea of trading, so naturally he couldn't report the points indiscriminately. 60 points, that's enough. The Purple Wheel God nodded slightly, and then said, Wanfa Tianzhao, if you want to trade, tell me what you want to trade, and I will negotiate with that force to see if they agree. In my opinion, even if you ask too much, they will agree. I want to think about it. Yu Tian began to ponder. Ordinary treasures, he didn't care at all. This time, he had to trade the treasures he longed for, otherwise he couldn't trade the points. But what kind of treasure is traded? Weapons, he doesn't need. Cultivation resources, he is not short of them for the time being. There is no shortage of knife skills and claw skills, and there is no shortage of palm skills. As for the physical body cultivation secret technique, he has it, and even if he has more points, even if others have the physical body cultivation secret skill, it is impossible to trade it, unless the other party is stupid. Seeing that Yu Tian had been silent for a long time, the Purple Wheel God knew that Yu Tian was in a tangle of choice and didn't know what to choose, so he proposed, Wanfa Tianzhao, if you don't know what to choose to trade, I propose that you trade Space Divine Gold. Space God Gold? Yu Tian heard this ranking for the first time, and he was a little puzzled. The Purple Wheel God explained, Space God Gold is a special metal. It is very tough, and contains space power. The key is that it can assist space talents to comprehend the power of space, and it can also cast space artifacts. Above the sun-level weapons is an artifact, and the value of each artifact is very precious, and the space artifact is even more powerful. So, I suggest you choose Space God Gold. Purple Wheel God. I don't know much about the value of Space Divine Gold. How much Space Divine Gold do you think I should trade? Yi Tian asked. The purple wheel god secretly calculated for a moment and said, "The space divine gold is very precious, and some big forces can open up an incomparably vast space inside the temple by adding a little space divine gold when refining the fortress and the temple. Such an arcana, the value is very large. You only have 60 points. Even if that force is extremely needy, it is impossible for the lion to open his mouth. According to my idea, you can ask for a trade of 1 pound of space gods." 1 pound, so little? Yi Tian frowned. "It's a lot," Purple Wheel God explained. "The space divine gold is not heavy. A pound of space divine gold is about the size of half a palm. Even our Qin family and the city lord's mansion can't take out so much space divine gold, and only that huge force has such a background." "Okay, then I'll trade 60 points for 1 caddy of space god gold." Yi Tian asked. "Okay, I'll communicate with that force." The Purple Wheel God departed. Subsequently, Yi Tian entered the virtual world of Tianzhao Pavilion and used the virtual network to inquire about the space divine gold. Sure enough, as the Purple Wheel God said, this metal is very precious, and the outside world can't trade it at all, and even the Points Mall of Tianzhao Pavilion doesn't have such a treasure transaction for sale. In normal times, his 60 points would not even be able to trade 1 or 2 space god gold. This time coincided with the birth of the planet, and many Tianzhao needed points, which led to the fact that points were so precious, otherwise where would he have the opportunity to trade space god gold? Once he gets the space divine gold, he can not only use the space divine gold to comprehend the mysteries of the space faster, but also forge a space artifact. In that case, his spatial ability can exert terrifying combat power under the increase of the space artifact, and his strength will skyrocket a lot. Little by little, time passed. On the 3rd day, the Purple Wheel God is here again. "Wanfa Tianzhao, that force has agreed," said the Purple Wheel God as soon as he came. "Agreed." Yi Tian's mood suddenly relaxed, and he hurriedly asked, "How to trade?" The Purple Wheel God said, "Trade face-to-face at the Tianzhao Pavilion branch of the Heavenly War Continent." "Who do you trade with?" Yi Tian asked again. The Purple Wheel God thought about it, but still said, "Wusheng Tianzhao." "It's him." Yi Tian was a little surprised. He copied the Huihui level palm talent from Wusheng Tianzhao, and now he is going to trade with Wusheng Tianzhao again. However, he heard that Wusheng Tianzhao had lost face in the ancient god ruins before. After all, he didn't get the benefits, and he was hypnotized and interrogated by Qingzhen Tianzhao, which was a big loss of face. Of course, he wouldn't deliberately mention this matter to Wusheng Tianzhao. This time it's just about the deal and nothing else. Wusheng Tianzhao is a person from the Immortal Pavilion, and the Immortal Pavilion is one of the top powers of Yinyu Star, and can sit on an equal footing with a main city, while the Qin family only controls a giant city, and there is a big gap between it and a force like the Immortal Pavilion. The Immortal Pavilion has the space divine gold, which is not surprising. With the cultivation of the Immortal Pavilion, the Wusheng Tianzhao naturally does not need to consider the points. This is the benefit of the great power Tianzhao. But Yi Tian is not envious at all. Everyone has their own opportunities. His opportunities are better than those of Wusheng Tianzhao. I don't know how many times. If others know that he has the talent of copying, I'm afraid that he will have to die of jealousy. The Purple Wheel God left, and Yi Tian also set off for the Tianzhao Pavilion branch. After a while, he came to the Tianzhao Pavilion branch of the main city of the Heavenly War. As soon as he entered the Tianzhao Pavilion branch, he saw the lifeless Tianzhao. No life is arrogant, 10,000 laws. Yi Tian and Wusheng Tianzhao greeted each other at the same time and said. Without further ado, the two began to trade. This is the space divine gold. Wusheng Tianzhao opened a box containing a piece of space divine gold. You transfer me 60 points, and this space divine gold is yours. Yi Tian identified it, checked it with his treasure hunting talent, confirmed that this was the real space god gold, and immediately said, "Okay, I'll transfer 60 points to you." A trace of Yi Tian's consciousness entered the virtual world and gave 60 points to Wusheng Tianzhao. Soon, the points will be credited. After Wusheng Tianzhao received 60 points, he immediately handed the space god gold to Yi Tian. Wanfa Tianzhao, happy cooperation. Happy working together. Yi Tian also smiled slightly. The two didn't say much, and they separated. Back in Qinfeng Giant City, Yi Tian couldn't wait to study the Space Divine Gold. In the training room, Yi Tian held the Space Divine Gold and sensed the spatial aura above. Sure enough, it is the power of space. The entire Space God Gold is like a natural space, completely composed of space power, but it contains the characteristics of metal, a magical treasure. Yi Tian exclaimed. Immediately, he used the Space God Gold to begin to comprehend the mysteries of space. Half an hour later, Yi Tian finished his enlightenment. It can almost double the effect of comprehension. Such an increase is not bad. After all, the mysteries of space are very difficult to comprehend, and the real use of Space Divine Gold is to cast space artifacts. Yi Tian muttered to himself. It is very difficult to cast a space artifact. He can't cast a space artifact, even if he copies someone else's refining talent. But refining is not achieved overnight, and a large number of refining tools are needed to improve the level of refining. And it is impossible for him to waste too much time to learn refining weapons. If he learns to practice refining weapons from now, it is estimated that it will take many years to reach the level of refining artifacts. Because of this, he gave up on this idea, and could only wait for the future to find a God-level refiner and let him help forge the space artifact. But God-level refiners are very rare, and even if he finds them, he is not at ease to hand over the Space Divine Gold to him to refine, and people may not necessarily accept his commission. The time for the birth of the planet is almost up, and when you come back, let's find someone to refine the space artifact. Yi Tian thought to himself. In a flash, another 10 days passed. This day, Tianzhao Pavilion sent a notice that Tianzhao, who had purchased the opportunity of the birth of the planet, converged with the headquarters of Tianzhao Pavilion. They're about to go.